Yeah, we're back on the SportsMax Zone and we're going to talk some cricket now. A valiant effort by Romario Shepherd and Akeal Hosein. Not enough to stop the West Indies from narrowly losing by 3 runs in the first one-day international displayed at the Queen's Park Oval on Friday in TNT. After winning the toss and fielding, the Windies managed to restrict the visitors to 308 for 7 of their 50 overs. Stand-in captain Shikhar Dhawan fell just 3 runs short of 100, leading the way with 97. His opening partner Shubman Gill added 64. Now there were 2 wickets each for Gurukesh Moti and the pacer Alzari Joseph. In reply, the West Indies showed much improved batting and needed 15 runs of the last over. They ended on 306 for 6. Kyle Mayers top scoring with 75. Brandon King adding 54, his first half-century at home in ODI cricket. Yuzvendra Chahal was the best Indian bowler with 2 for 18. And Fazeer Mohammed now joins us. And a defeat, Faz, in your hometown TNT, but pretty brave effort coming off those dismal performances against the Bangladeshis.
Absolutely, Lance. So you really need to put it in context because coming off 3-0 against Bangladesh, yes, a very different pitch. And that's another thing that surprised many of us, how good this pitch was for batting. And that's why India probably felt that maybe they should have gotten closer to 350, the way they were going. But 308 for 7, you felt that would have been enough. But the West Indies showed real spirit. The opening stand didn't really happen. Shea Hope fell cheaply. But then you saw Shamar Brooks and Kyle Mayers, an excellent partnership. And then, as you mentioned, that partnership towards the end, Romario Shepherd and Akeal Hosein, they just couldn't pull it off at the end. It has to be said that India played some really untidy cricket at key points in the field, but take nothing away from the West Indies. They lose, yes, by 3 runs, but they come away with tremendous credit for the way they fought.
Yeah, let's start with the bowling and the out cricket for the West Indies, Faz, because they became competitive in this match from the first half of the game when they restricted the Indians to just 308 for 7. Most of the bowlers with economy rates of between 5 and 6. How well did the West Indies bowl today?
I thought they did extremely well in the latter half of the innings because, again, India were 213 for 213 for 1, in the 32nd over. At that point, you were thinking 231, for 1 in the 32nd over. At that point, you were thinking minimum 350. But they pulled it back very well. They picked up important wickets, 2 wickets for Alzari Joseph, 2 for Gurukesh Moti, 1 for Akeal Hosein. The spinners were the most economical, going at just 5+ per over. The seamers came back into it after being wayward at the start. And really, you saw a level of determination which was heartening to see. The fact that they were able to pull India back when it looked as if, as I said, 350, 375 was on the cards.
Yes, Faz, and you tend to say this, we're always wiser after the fact. But Nicholas Pooran, looking back at the decision he would have made, do you feel as if he would have wanted to bat first?
Maybe, but again, it's no point being wise after the fact because Shikhar Dhawan at the toss said he would have preferred to bat first as well. So in any event, we could always speculate. These things are irrelevant now because, as we said, both captains wanted to bat first because they weren't sure with all the rain around. Remember, yesterday, it rained so heavily, the teams couldn't even practice. It had rained the day before and the day before that. Today was bone dry. And that's why credit must be given to the ground staff because the ground staff at the Queen's Park Oval have come in for a lot of criticism over the years for the nature of the pitch. We remember the abandonment of a test match with India in 2016 because of a sudden outfield, even with sun shining for 4 days. There was no play after lunch from day 1. But they really produced an excellent cricketing surface for this one-day international where 2 teams could get 300+. And I don't fault Nicholas Pooran at all for choosing to bat first because there was an element of uncertainty as to how the pitch would have played.
Yeah, bowl first for sure. Shea Hope's position, 7 runs today off 18 balls. Should he be concerned?
I think everyone should be concerned because he is someone with tremendous form generally, with a tremendous record even still in the one international format of the game. But again, against the short ball, a bit of extra pace, going for the pull shot, he was late on it, top edge, down to third man. So again, that is going to be something where the opponents will pepper him with. more short pitch bowling come Sunday, come Tuesday with the remaining one-day internationals, because there's no place to hide at this level of the game. So he's going to have to work that out sooner rather than later. He's a key component to this West Indies one-day team still.
And as we get ready now for the second ODI, do you expect the Windies to come into to actually play the next few ODIs with confidence that, they can probably win this one?
Confidence, yes. And it's going to be interesting to see. Well, Jason Holt is probably ruled out because if he has COVID, it takes at least a week to get over it. So Romario Shepherd should retain his place in the team. Whether there should be a need for any changes to their team, certainly the way they perform, I would suspect that it might be an unchanged 11 for Sunday's match. But I think the Indians survived the scare, and they know that. We know that they are resting 5 of their top players, and that's almost an insult to the West Indies team, and the Indians just got away today. I suspect, and this is where the West Indies will have to ensure that they're hitting their straps from ball 1 on Sunday, because the Indians, having gotten away this time, will probably be telling themselves, we played poor cricket rather than giving the West Indies credit. That may not be the case as far as the facts of the match, but they might very well see it that way and come out with even greater determination come Sunday. So it's up to Nicholas Purana and his men to be ready to take on that challenge.
Faz, give us your report card on Akeal Hosein, because this young man has come into international cricket looking comfortable, both with the bat and the ball. He batted well today. He has bowled well ever since he started international cricket. And he does have the body language of a player that is composed, confident, and plays with some level of assurance, which I think is encouraging.
And I've heard Ian Bishop, former West Indies Fast Bowler, outstanding commentator, talk about it very often. If you understand the circumstances and the community that Akeal Hosein would have come from East Port of Spain, which is considered one of the underprivileged areas on the fringes of the capital of Port of Spain, and he would have had certainly that stigma attached to him coming up through the ranks in the game, in his life generally. And with that comes a burning desire that borders on arrogance, an arrogance that says, I can do this. Whether it was, as we saw against England when he took the West Indies with 4 sixes in that final over to within 1 run, and they lost, yes, but there's a confidence about him. As I said, he believes that he belongs at this level. He knows that this is the showcase for the Indian Premier League. He's probably telling himself that not only am I going to do my best for the West Indies, but I'm going to show all of those out there in the wide world of Indian cricket who probably asking themselves, who is this Akeal Hosein? I am going to show you who Akeal Hosein is, because he's done it already in previous competitions and in the World T20, as disappointing as that was. But he is a young man with enormous self-belief. He knows he can do it with the ball. He believes he can do it with the bat as well. He believes he should be batting way higher than he is right now. And certainly right now he's doing his best to earn a promotion.
Yeah, Kyle Mears didn't bowl that well today, but he again batted very well. Kyle Mears, of course, the son of Shirley Clarke, who is a former West Indies under-19 captain, the Barbadian. And Mears, in the same way that Akeal Hosein is, does play with a level of confidence, as if he believes that he belongs at this level.
And you know, Lance, Kyle Mears may have 1 or 2 technical faults outside the off stump. Most left-handers do.
Yes.
But Kyle Mears is the sort of West Indies batsman who rekindles that image of a player who won't let a bad ball get away. You bowl anything remotely offline and it's gone. Not with any wild swing, but with good timing, good power, good placement, and confidence as well in his game. And I think that's so important. Brandon King, as we're looking at the scorecard now, got 54, and I think he bogged himself down a bit, and that might have cost the West Indies towards the end. And I'm sure he knows that getting runs against the Netherlands and getting runs against India in a pressure situation like this is a very different situation, but he needs to up his game. But getting back to Kyle Mears, I think Kyle Mears is the sort of player who puts that kind of pressure on the bowler. The bowler knows that anything offline and it's going to go away. He is not going to let the scoring opportunity go by, and he might manufacture a few of his own along the way. And that's the sort of batting we need to see more from the West Indies, even at test level. Not reckless, but positive. There's a significant difference between just poking around and blocking all day until the inevitable unplayable delivery comes along, than playing positive, not risky and reckless, I emphasize, but playing positive to put the pressure back on the bowler. And I think that's what Kyle Mayers does.
Yeah, and a side story before we go, Faz, because news came out in the past couple of days that Shimron Hetmyer is with the team training at the moment. And I saw a report today that says he has a fitness test coming up, hopefully to play in the T20s. But overall, white ball cricket, how badly do you think this West Indies team needs the return of Shimron Hetmyer?
I think it's obvious. When you look at what he brings to the game, as far as his batting ability, yes, he struggled desperately in Test cricket till he lost his place a couple of years ago. But he's had an outstanding season in the Indian Premier League. He certainly played his part with his franchise there. So clearly, he belongs at this level. But standards are standards. And really, the West Indies Cricket Board, or Cricket West Indies, I should say, has left itself open to all sorts of criticism with what appears to be a really flexible position as far as fitness. And I think at some point they have to draw the line. Whether it's now with Shimron Hetmyer and say, well, okay, if Shimron Hetmyer has to meet this standard to play, and if he doesn't meet it, he can't play, notwithstanding what he brings as far as his batting, then there can't be any flexibility anymore in relation to allowing this one and that one and the other one to get away, and this one not wanting to take a test and this one refusing to take a test. Shimron Hetmyer can bat. We know that. But if it is that fitness remains a standard, it should be non-negotiable from this point on.
Yeah, and the report I saw hinted or suggested that the captain, Nicholas Pooran, wants him back.
Of course he wants him back. But again, you don't want to go down the road of bending the rules to accommodate someone. And I know everyone is thinking Rakeem Cornwall automatically as to how he was playing for the West Indies. Again, that's because certain allowances were given, which creates that vast grey area. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to keep someone like a Shimron Hetmyer out of a West Indies team for fitness reasons, given the fact that he can contribute runs, as we've seen in the IPL, which is the highest stage of the franchise format for T20s, then you've got to ensure that there's no more laxity, no more allowances, because it can't be that you have a situation where some players get allowances, others don't, and you leave out players, again, based on your rules, which appear to be, as I said, very, very flexible up and down, and you leave out players who find themselves on the sidelines when they should be contributing. Again, I am a little, just an observation. I would think that Shimron Hetmyer should have been able to meet those requirements already without having to be in a West Indies setup. That's another concern for me, that in your home environment, wherever that is, you should be able to meet those standards without having a West Indies coach or physio having to look over you with a stopwatch.
I agree with you, Faz. I suspect that we'll talk to you again on Monday after the second one-day international on Sunday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon.
Take care, lads.
Yeah, we go to break. Still a lot more to come on the SportsMax Zone. You can't be a pro and a behave someone. Yeah, food, am I boy, but carelessness, that brother.